welcome to Real Actors, Real Answers, the video podcast where you are the star. Today, I am so pumped and so excited about interviewing Ty Anderson. Ty Anderson is a man of 1,000 voices. I attribute him to those in the Hallmark Hall of Fame as Mel Blanc. He's a lot of fun. Also, if you want to become a voiceover artist, clue in and really listen to the things that he has to share, because it will help you get started in your own acting career, voiceover career. Ty Anderson, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, David. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited, and I love your chapeau.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Frank Sinatra. I borrowed it from him. Never gave it back.
These little town blues are fading away. Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
So tell me something. What got you started to thinking that you could have the audacity, which is actually a software item, but what gave you the courage to become who you are today as a voiceover actor, voiceover artist?
Well, first off, I use Audacity, and I have used Audacity for years, even after all the Pro Tools and everything comes out. I love Audacity. Okay, I got started really, if we're going to do this, 11 years ago is when I kind of started getting my feet wet and realizing that's where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I thought commercials at first, and then I'm like, no, I've got 8 billion voices in my head, and I need to get a few of them out. So as far as it goes, cartoons. I mean, you and I both know that Saturday mornings were religious to us. You know, Sunday, yeah, okay, cool, and then a couple of cartoons, and then you had to get up and go do something. And what I loved about Saturday is you could always tell cartoons were over is when American Bandstand came on. So there's a really show of my age. But go ahead, please. Dick Clark and so many different. Okay, so I got into cartoons and animation, Godzilla movies, Japanese movies like that, Monty Python. You know, the first Saturday Night Live. I watched the first Saturday Night Live. You know, and I was so young, and I remember staying up. And then the next day telling my older brother about it. Oh, you got to watch this show. You got to see this show. It's incredible. And, you know, so it kind of started there. And what I always tell people is, and I will do this every time, I blame or I thank my brother, my stepbrother, Gus, for in the direction I went, because he was the one that had the off ball kind of thought pattern and, you know, watched all those shows. And of course I followed with him and I really enjoyed it. So I guess to get back to it is I started with cartoons and animation, Saturday Night Live, SCTV. It moves on, and you get into, of course, you know, Robin Williams at such a young age. I was so blessed to be able to see him from top, you know, from the very first on Happy Days, and on and on, and you know, you just, when you're that kind of person, or the person I am, you just kind of, you in that direction, and you follow those people that are funny and make you laugh and have voices and can do characters. And so you kind of, you hook onto that. And I eventually took radio broadcasting when I was in my 20s, and I did talk radio and a little rock radio and, you know, country radio and stuff like that. I did DJing in nightclubs for 30 years, you know, a long time all over the country. And I think what happened at the end is I'm like, let's see what happens as a voice actor. So I started reading out loud. Number one, I started reading out loud, which really helps, because it helps your enunciation and you hear your voice. You know, there's a big difference between, of course, the story is in your head, but when you read out loud, you're following the words more than the story so much. I started doing that. I started recording that. What else did I do? I took classes, any classes I could find, and that includes acting classes. because key word here is acting, voice acting. I mean, when I get going in my booth, I'm all over the place, and whatever character it depends on, I'm really into it, and to digress a little bit, I recorded myself as a kid too. I mean, just had a cassette recorder, and I loved doing that, and I did voices, and I did whoever I heard at the time, and I really wish I had one of those tapes, David. I would I would love having one of those tapes and listen back to how squeaky and 6-year-old my voice was, but and so it's a drive, and you have to remember it's fun. You do this because it's fun, and you take those classes, whatever classes you can find online or at a college, or even a voice acting studio that might be nearby your home or a little ways away. You look that stuff up online, and they give you a list of, okay, we're doing this, we're training for this, here's a class on this, here's a workout course. And I find a lot of those on Facebook. You just go on Facebook and you look up voice acting clubs or voiceover clubs, and then you get connected with people, and you hear about jobs, and it kind of slides that way, and then you do more and more. My first booth was a corner of my old house, and I had blankets hanging down and everything, and the sound wasn't really good because I had 2 big windows on either side. We had a train yard really close by, and of course police and fire really close by too, but you do it anyway. And then you just I've always been a weird guy. I'll just be straight and simple. I'm short. I was always picked on, and I found that humor was a good way to not get my butt kicked or shoved into a locker. So voice acting for me kind of saved me in junior high and a little bit in high school. But, you know, I guess the best way to say it is do what you can. If you're going to do this, love it. Just don't do it for the money, because you're not going to make a ton of money. This is not a high end, hey, look, I'm going to be that guy that's doing video games and animation. And I mean, even now, I've done some big names, but I'm still have a day job. I still work a day job. I get these occasionally, like working for Gearbox or Hi-Rez. One of my favorites I work for right now is a company called Foreteller, and they do audio for role or tabletop role-playing games. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now everything you said was creative, and I can hear and also see the kid in you just jumping up and down and having a great old time, a great old time. That's Fred Flintstone. But
in Bedrock, twist.
I remember that very well. It's still to this day at 56, like your age. I really like, I don't care if I've seen the episode again. I'll watch it again and again and again. They're icons, So tell me something.
Yes, sir.
I put this out because nowadays people subconsciously, and it's infectious in the media, we compare ourselves to other people. We don't even have to say, I compare myself to this voiceover artist, or I compare myself to this person. It's already there. We see this grand picture of, people that are perfect, and they're not. Okay. They're just like you and I. Now, that being said, this is going to sound silly, but it's in the crux of life. How do you find time to do it?
I love it. So I find time, even if I'm not really in the mood to go into the booth. I'll look at my little black tape or duct tape booth is what I like to call it, and it's just perfect for me. And I'm like, man, it's just right before we're doing this interview, I'm doing some dub work for a fan film of a video game called Dark Souls, and and I have been doing the work with this company, Parallel Digital. They were the first production company to ever put me in front of a camera way back like 13 years ago. And so I've stuck with them. And I'm like, oh man, I got to do this dub. Oh man, I just got done vacuuming and cleaning the house and doing everything on my day off. And I'm like, well, and then once I got in there and I started doing that voice, oh, I came alive. Oh, I was so happy to be in front of the microphone, you know, and it does. I love it. I love the opportunity that somebody gives me to go, we have this, I don't know, minor, and you choose the voice, Ty. What do you want to do? Oh, I'm the minor and I come down and we'll figure it out this way. It's deep inside the hole, you know, and it's, it's so much fun, man. I just love this so much, David. Days when it's poopy, doesn't matter. You get in here and you got animals and creatures and people coming out of your head into a microphone, and somebody on the other end, when you send it to them, is going, I like that. I really like that. So makes me feel good.
Have you ever had someone that heard your voice and then met you in person and said, I pictured you another way?
Yeah. I got mistaken for a guy that's 6'6". Dude, you got a voice of it like a guy that's 6'6". I'm like, I know, I'm only 5'5". So as a little person, I've had to carry a big voice. I had a lot of, family members, and I have children. So yelling or raising my voice has become, they're upstairs and I'm downstairs. It's not like you kids are all bad, Ollie. It's not anything like that. It's like, hey, come on down for dinner. My voice gets loud, but yeah, I like that. I like when I get mistaken for somebody else. And if I really could, David, I would just like get rid of my picture and my face completely. It's not about that at all. It's about my voice. And that's always kind of, not always, but for a while has bugged me, is like, oh, let's see your professional headshot. And you're like, it's not about my face, man. If you're trying to market me, cool, I'll get a headshot. But man, this is who I am. I'm a freak, man. I got Rick Sanchez hair, and it looks like Beetlejuice, which I really enjoy. And I don't care anymore because I shaved my head for like 20 years. I grew my hair back. And I'm like, oh, never again, never. It's part of me, and I use it when I'm voice acting, and so.
To get into the character, you mean?
Absolutely. If I'm doing like a troll, the face is gonna be like this. He's a troll, and he's coming after all. I've had it with all you know. It's. I'm in love with voice acting, man. I really am.
I can tell. I've said this many times to my students as an acting coach, and I try to drill into them literally as well as myself, because conformity is not meant for artists. Acting is movement. If you don't move, you can't act. You can't keep it up here. So I've noticed watching you doing these voices that your body moves, your face moves, and you pull your hair or you do something. How necessary is movement in acting, especially with voice acting?
Absolutely 1000% part of it. Because if you're not doing it, if you're not feeling that character, if you can't envision who they are and what they do, a pirate are, I still to this day have to squint one eye, it's part of it. And even if I change the pirate's voice, it's still got that squinty eye. The damn dolphin spit in me eye, it's one of those things. It's so important. And I highly, highly recommend to anybody, take acting classes, take physical classes, learn all of that, body movement, everything, because it does happen. And you never know, somebody might find you or see you and go, hey, you look good for the computer animation that they do nowadays, and stuff like that. You just never know where this can lead. And that's the beautiful thing of it. I've done some awesome work. I've done some work for the USS. This is one of my favorite. I did a submarine sailor for the USS Bowfin Museum at Pearl Harbor.
Wow, what an honor.
Absolutely. Absolutely an honor. And it was so unexpected. I just, to get asked to do that. And there you go. I was acting, but I couldn't really act. I had to stay I had to stay as a human, as an adult male on a submarine ship, not like, oh, it's all going down, come to go sink. It wasn't, hi, Captain, or, hi to the royal captain, something like that. And they would correct me because it was a directed, no, you're sounding too cartoonish. Can you bring that down? And that's hard for a character voice actor to,
I agree. Now, how does one make their first demo reel?
I did it myself. I learned. You had mentioned Audacity. That has been my DAW, my recording program since I started doing this. It's basic, it's simple. Anything you need to know, as we all know nowadays, just look it up on YouTube. It'll tell you how to do it. Follow the directions, and there you go. My first professional demo, and I've listened back to it, was a few auditions that I'd done for commercials. And then I had the scripts for others that I just got off a line. I looked up audition lines for voice acting, and they'll send you like commercials. I remember I had like a Mustang ad. Mustang, the newest thing for the the new and hip, or whatever it was, and you had and what people don't realize about commercials is there's a soft sell, there's a medium sell, and there's a hard sell. Soft sell is, hi, thanks for coming in today. Your favorite bank is Corner Bank. Your medium sell is, thanks for coming in today at Medium Bank. We're really happy you're here today. Your hard sell is, thanks for coming into Medium Bank. You got those levels. So you learn that stuff too as you record. And a lot of people out there, do demos. They will produce your demo, and it costs money. Some of them costs a lot of money. In the beginning, I had no money. So I had to do what I had to do, and I learned. I learned to, like I said originally, read out loud is so important, because your enunciation and the way you pronounce everything comes up on a commercial, unless you're doing a character voice for a commercial. It's, you've got to enunciate and be right on things. That, a good microphone at the time, I had a Blue Yeti, I had a USB mic, and it was good. But once again, I learned how to use my Audacity and remove sounds or alter things. And as time went on, and I'm learning things about Audacity, and I'm reading, and I'm going online, and I'm asking questions. Facebook is a great place to go. Like I said, there are so many groups. Like, you're fantastic. You're fantastic group. You can answer questions like that. Where can I find scripts, voiceover, voice acting, voice artists. There are just a bunch of them out there. And most of the time, 10 seconds does it for an audition, for a tape, or for a reel, or for nowadays a file. So I did it originally myself. It sounded like poop, but I used it as long as I could until I could get better at what I did. And if you guys go to my my website, tiethevoiceguy.com, my character animation demo is done by me, and I think it turned out really well. But then my video game demo was done by Mark Grau, and I had to sell one of my children's toes, and I think we got rid of the cat for that. Yeah, we couldn't afford the cat anymore to get that demo.
But it sounds to me, you invest not only money, okay, because money's a tool like a hammer, but but you invest your time on a daily basis.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I go online. Excuse me. I use LinkedIn to find companies around the world now. You know, I record mostly from home. I've only gone to recording booths. I did it for Borderlands 3. I had to drive up to Dallas 3 or 4 times, which from Houston to Dallas is 300 miles one way. So, you know what? Absolutely worth it. Didn't matter. I was at Gearbox recording characters for a video game, and I was just amazed and awesome. And then when I did Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I just went across to Houston to some guy's really cool house, really nice little recording studio. So, you know, what was the question again? I sometimes just
I'm so engrossed here. You invest your time.
yes,
like
yes,
3-hour drive.
yeah, and once again, wasn't about the money, wasn't about getting paid. It was about that I could say I was at Gearbox. I come home, I do what I can in the time I have to find work, to find auditions. If I have work that's been sent to me, I get a hold of the people that have gotten hold of me during the day. I actually work with a company in China that does like video games, and I do little bits of work for them, and it's usually kind of a medieval or a fantasy voice, and they pay nothing, hardly at all. But I love doing that. You know, I come and I check, and or I'm at work and I'm out and about, and I get a message, and I'm like, I'm on it pretty quick. You know, quick response is very important. Once you get into this, and once you're able to start having clients and moving down the road, the voice acting or the voiceover road, you know. And so time, yes, lots of time in setting up my booth. When I first moved here, I've moved here in Texas 3 years ago from the Seattle area. And when we moved here, I looked for the right closet to set up my booth in. Never ashamed to admit that my booth is put together by duct tape and post-it nails, but does it have the sound? Yes, sir.
That's the quality that you're going for.
Absolutely. And boy, I'll tell you though, it gets hot in here. It gets really hot. Time is important. If you're going to do this, you have to set aside some time. If you really want to do this, and yes, I've been chasing this professional dream of getting a job that I get paid for every day to voice something, or a large amount on a video game or something like that. But I know in my head, it's not going to happen right now. It might. That's why I keep chasing the dream. That's why I keep coming home and doing whatever was sent to me, whatever auditions, whatever voice work I have, and do it with a smile, because you're doing something you love, I hope. Don't do it for the money, people. There's not a lot of money in this, but there's a lot of happiness and good times and talking to people and making people send you messages back going, that was it. That's the voice I wanted. Boom, you nailed it. And it makes you feel good. You know, so it's, yes, time. Yes, it's going to take time, but man, what do we got? 60, 70 years on a planet. Come on. 20, 30 out of it's not bad.
And you don't take anything with you, so.
Nah. I think I'm going to be buried with one of my microphones, though. Check.
Or the casket is like shaped in a microphone.
There you go. Or a speaker or some headphones or something. Yeah. Okay. I got $100,000. Spend it all on my casket. I want it to look really good.
You remind me of the thing. Life is supposed to be a celebration.
Yep.
It really is. And, you know, to digress just a little bit, because actors are philosophical at times, you know, we have to be, because we have to learn about characters. Some types of countries and things, they celebrate a funeral rather than they mourn it. They celebrate the life. And that's how you remind me. It's like, wait a minute, Ty is saying to celebrate every day, whether it's perceivably good or bad, it doesn't matter, you know. Like you're in a closet right now, but that's your castle.
Absolutely. I get so sad when I have nothing going on and I come and look at it. I come up and I look at my booth and I go, I'm really sorry, I got nothing today, guys. Sorry, you know. And it's just one of those. It's I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. It's nothing. It's not expensive. It's mine, and I built it, and it has great sound. I don't have to alter my recording at all. I don't do the compression and da 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 da. I do one thing to my recording. So two, I take out breaths and clicks, to make it nice sounding. But I only do noise reduction. That's all I do on my recordings. I don't do anything else. I'm not here to phone anybody out and have my voice sound like this all the time. I can make my voice sound like that all the time. I don't need a compressor, So, I do go off the wall. I'm like a train that's running away and it's got like 15 tracks ahead of it, and I'm like, I watch one.
So yeah, you are compressed yourself. Creativity doesn't come. Those are tools, and that's great. But the real life, the real imagination, the real creativity comes from deep within you, hits your vocal cords, and then you produce.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't have this voice when I was in my 20s. When I took radio broadcasting, they had taught us to do an exercise where it lowers your voice tone, and it's, oh. So I did that all the time. Next thing you know, I'm like, all right, I'm in 8th grade. It's just like, dude, what's up with your voice all of a sudden? I don't know. I'm going to do radio though, I think. So,
that's funny.
it was an exercise that you learned. And at the time, radio was like that. So, it's the things you do to get noticed. And radio just wasn't my thing. I didn't do it, and yes, I did a lot of nightclub DJing and stuff like that. But this was my true call. And it just took a long time for me to go in the direction that I needed to, and find it. And sometimes that happens. We go on tours and walks and runs, and it just goes around in our life. And it's the one thing that is considered a job that I do not mind doing at all. To me, it's a career. It's my life, and I love it. And I'll say one thing: I thank God for it all the time, man. With my voice is what it is, and I am who I am. And I'm not a Bible thumper, man. But hey, God pulled me out of some crap the last 20 years, and I'd also like to thank my wife for keeping me alive. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, wherever you are.
I appreciate that very much.
No problem, man.
It's true. He does have a way of redirecting your steps.
Yeah, in his own time too. I always like that one. True. And you're like, listen, God, come on, man. I really got to have this done. So he's like,
or
35 years later.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing that I catch myself doing sometimes is this, and I catch myself, like I said, don't you understand? It's like, pardon me.
My deal is I'm still a twisted man. I'm still very off the wall, very kind of humorous, kind of really a little, but God has a sense of humor, man. Look at the platypus, right? I mean, seriously.
That's true. So
the octopus.
What I'm getting is that closet is your unique man cave.
Yeah, man, but it needs a good fan. It's so hot in here sometimes. But yes, it is. It is mine, and I don't like anybody getting inside of it. My 8-year-old son, Jet, who is an awesome kid, and he loves doing voices himself. I'll come in and I'll notice the mic is a little lower or something. I'm like, Jet, you were in my booth, weren't you? No. I said, my mic's a lot lower than it was before. Come on, just admit it. Okay. I said, we're going to get you working. We're going to get you working. You're going to make daddy some money. Okay.
Awesome. You're leaving a legacy.
He's a mini me. He's the exact version. I have wonderful boys. I have all boys. I have boys ranging from the age of 8 to like 32. Not all the same moms. But you know, I love all my boys. I talk to them all the time, and you know, things have changed in the past 20 years, in the past 10 years of my life, to the point where I'm a happy guy for the most part. Yes, I'm bipolar. I'm bipolar as all get go. You know, I have manic days, and I have days where I just, you know, I'm just not happy. But I try to keep my chemical level where it should be, and you know, we're all gonna have bad days, man. That's life. But it's how we handle the next day. You know. Okay, hey, this one was bad. All right, let's just see if we can go to sleep and see what happens tomorrow. You know, and then you wake up tomorrow and you do that. Wake up, you're like, all right, let's take this nice and slow. All right, it's good. We're good. All right, let's go.
I love your energy. I love your energy and your focus and your determination and everything that you've said. It's enriching. It really is. It's like, wake up and smell the coffee. That's what you're saying. Wake up and smell it, because life is not bad. It's just creative. It's just like, it's a ebb and flow.
Yep. It's a funky roller coaster ride. That's all it is. It absolutely is. And you know what's funny is, if you've ever seen the movie Parenthood, Steve Martin, when he's on the ride and he's like not happy about it, and woo, and the camera's doing the weird thing, and then he starts laughing and smiling, but he's really not on a ride. He's with his family. And he's just like, it kind of starts flipping out. And then he starts noticing they're laughing and he's happy. And he finally accepts it, that's how life is. Life is not, all right, here's another voice acting job. Here's one. They don't hand them out. You got to work for what you want. You have to work for it. And things aren't going to be perfect, you know. Life is that way. And if it is, man, if things are perfect, then you're an alien. You're on there's something seriously wrong with you, man. I've met some aliens, trust me. The place I work, wow. So, you know, just be as happy as you can. You know, life is, I'm going to use a bad word. Life is going to shit on you. Excuse my language. But you know what we do? We get a roll of toilet paper, we wipe it off, we jump in the shower, we clean up, and you know, we move on and we find the person that did that to us. And then we like smack him in the head a couple times. Right, Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy, that's good. Yeah, you know what I mean.
You could write a book, Thai-isms or something. I like that.
Hey, listen, Jimmy, about had it with you and the guys. Are we going to go play pool or what? I don't want to play pool, boss. You know. See? I keep telling people that I have brain damage, and that's just the after effects of brain damage. It's just like,
isn't that it's not brain damage, it's I want to get this right. It's Dane damage.
Dane damage. All right. I do the most wonderful English accent now. I used to be from the Bronx, but no, listen, now it's the upper crust of kind of English accent. Yes.
You get scripts, of course, when you have jobs, but do you write your own scripts?
No, I've had people go, dude, you got to write your own stuff. You ought to create your own animation. And I'm like, nah, it's not me, man. I'm behind the scenes. I'm creative with my voice and my mind. I'm not creative with writing, and that's not my thing, you know. I did writing in school. Do you think I want to do more writing? I got to help my kid. I got to help my kid with homework. Do you think I want to do more writing? No, man. My writing is really nice though. It's I have awesome printing. It's all capital letters, and you know, I got my poor kid in trouble in like kindergarten and second grade for him writing like I do. Everything's capital. Oh, Mr. Anderson, your kid writes in all capitals. Oh, I'm sorry, that's me. So I had to relearn how to make lowercase letters. I hadn't made a lowercase letter in like, I don't know, 15, 20 years.
You can relearn things if you need to.
And I did. I had to, because my kid was going to get in trouble if he kept writing. Looked like he's yelling at the teacher. Yes, the dog ran across the street. You know, it's like your kid's yelling at me on the paper.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
In a different area. What I do see right now is a door behind you with foam, and I would like to know what kind of foam that is. Where did you get it? How much did it cost? And that microphone. What is the package? I mean, you don't have to go all out, but what do you need for a home studio like that?
Basically, I have the most basic thing, and I have been using it for years because I have never seen any reason to go big. I don't have the space. You put too much equipment here, starts getting hotter and hotter. What I have, David, is a Steinberg UR12 interface. This is my third microphone that I've owned. It's a it's like a TMX2 or so. It's got a funky name. $200 is what I paid for that. My foam, some of this that you can't really see is from a recording studio where I did a lot of work for an app that used to be out. Now you can't find it anymore, but you can find a lot of the stories on Alexa. It was called Amazon Rapids, and I still have all the scripts from these, and they fill 2 of those big flip, folder things. So if I ever want to do a character voice again, or do, make a new demo, which I have to, I've got stuff there. The foam I ordered through Walmart. It's about $12 for 12 pieces. They're little squares. When I first moved here, I had packing or the packing blankets, the really kind of cheap ones. I have pillows. I have padding. I have everything. It's all held together with black duct tape, David. It's like it's the minimum, and that's all I need. Okay, you open here. We'll open the door. There's my 8-year-old son's room right there. That's and I'm not ashamed to admit anything. I mean, it sounds good. Close the door. Nobody can hear. I'm happy. I'm happy in this little room. I had the opportunity to do a big walk-in, but man, that's trying to soundproof something that size.
Good point. Time can't be replaced. So yeah.
I've spent, time and time again just doing little things, adjustments and things like that. It shouldn't take you more than maybe $500 to really start being, start your voice acting or your voiceover work. Okay. Like I said, read out loud, go online, find scripts, find classes wherever you can, find any kind of classes, do acting classes, voice classes. I know it's expensive, but you can find free stuff out there, guys. You really can. And now some of it costs a lot, and I'm not happy with that situation where you have a very famous voice actor and he's charging $400 a person to listen to him for 30 minutes. What, you can't work right now, buddy? So you're charging these poor kids the amount that you used to work on make on an animation or a video game. That makes me more mad than anything about the voice acting right now. It's just, they're like, hey, can I tell you, you look a lot like Jimmy Stewart.
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Have you ever been told that?
Well, since you brought that up, I'll tell you, back in 2002, I want to say, I was in California and I played It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart, on stage at Life House Theater. It's in Redlands, California. And we played 16 shows. And I'm telling you what, I've always appreciated that movie since I was a teenager. But playing that role, it's very dark. And
it is.
It just totally wore me out, but built me up, sort of like what you do. You have this great voice and it takes everything out of you, but it gives you so much back.
Yeah.
So, I did Jimmy Stewart, Mary, where are you? I was so tempted at rehearsal just to break him out and say that, but I had to hold back because you can't play the other person. That's him.
No.
You got to find out who you are through that character.
No. Listen to me. The soup is good. You just gotta take your time. That's it. I always do like the older characters now. I like them when they're older. Remember the commercial? That's home cooking soup right there. Yeah.
I like that. It's very good.
Of course, that's kind of copied from Dana Carvey, because
Uh-huh.
that guy nailed some stuff. I mean, there were so many people from Saturday Night Live that inspired me in so many ways you would not believe. And I'm going back to like 1974 when the first one came on, and there's Chevy Chase and John Belushi. Oh, sorry, Chevy Chase showed up later, but John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, and I get teared up.
Cheeseburger, Coke. Yeah.
No Coke, Betsy. Hey, do you guys sell sandwiches here? No sandwiches. Cheeseburger. I'll take 2. Cheeseburger. Bessie, no Coke, Bessie.
Or James Belushi as the samurai.
His
family understood him. Talk about improv. That was amazing when you think about it.
Incredible actors, man. I mean, really, that's where it all started, man. Cartoons and Saturday Night Live. It really did. And that's the core of it.
What was your reaction when, and I remember distinctly when the news was on and they said that they were going to remove Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, I don't remember that, but I remember noticing that it wasn't like it used to be. I mean, come on, man. Cartoon Network came in and kind of, the early Cartoon Network was really good. They played like the black and white, old black and white Popeyes and the old Betty Boops and stuff at night. Late night black and white is what it was called. And to not see cartoons on a Saturday morning was really hard. But then again, man, our cartoons were the best. Hand drawn, beautiful. Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers, Tom and Jerry. I mean, God, the Roadrunner. I mean, I can go on and on. I can tell you, listen, boy, you about as smart as a brick in the rain, boy.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, I said, last time I saw somebody like you, I had to cut my head off.
You know what? You sound a little bit like Foghorn, but at the same time, I all of a sudden I picture you as this typical, stereotypical Southern gentleman, in this big house with giant pillars.
I want to tell you folks something before you come into my house. Wipe your feet, grab a drink, and then get the hell out. I know what you mean, and I actually did that voice for a guy was doing old presidents and old senators and stuff, and he did a lot of them, and I did quite a few voices, and I did a Southern one. Georgia is different than South Carolina, and different than Florida, because Florida's like this. Georgia's more of this, and Florida. I mean, there's just so many little things, and I don't know why I hear it. I really have no idea why I hear the difference. I'll be watching TV and I'm like, where is that guy from? That is the weirdest accent I have ever heard. Are you trying to be like 14 people? Because, one thing I always have to say, if you guys ever end up doing fantasy, science fiction, or any of that kind of voiceover work, just remind them that unless it is set on Earth, there are no accents. Okay? Don't have somebody go, listen, that's not a true Irish accent. Well, of course not. It's 17 billion years in the future. I'm 15 trillion miles away from Earth. It's been bothering me lately.
No, what a way to save yourself. What does the Irish Northern accent sound like? But
That's
it's
right.
going to be a different interpretation because you have a different ear. Correct?
Absolutely. That's right. Because you just never know. They could come around, maybe smack you a few times, and you're like, listen, I've had it with you. I don't know what you guys are doing. They say the hard one to do is Scottish. I think I can do Scottish quite well. Oh, I've had it with you crappy kids. Get out of my house. Head, move. Oh, look at the size of that head. It's like an orange on a toothpick.
This is excellent. I love this. This is energetic. It just, and when this goes out, it's going to go out to some of my students that aspire to be a voiceover actor, but they don't. You just have to start, right? You just have to begin somewhere.
That's right. Get yourself a little setup. You don't even need that. Just in the beginning, record yourself reading and build up your confidence and look for classes that are free because they're out there. Not everybody's trying to get money out of your pocket right now. They're really not. Okay. I mean, some great people out there I have worked with and great people right now I work with and opportunities are out there and you just got to take a chance, take that first step, just go, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And I admit have kind of become like a small, medium-sized fish in a really big pond because once COVID came in, everybody got home studios or made something that, resembled a home studio. And then, my opportunity was ripped right out because somebody had a voice close to mine or, it's just, but right there, it's the nature of the business. It's what the casting director or the director hears in your voice or hears in the next guy's voice. That's really what it comes down to. And remember, they're listening to 10,000 different voices, for one character. So it's a hard game, man. Man, there's been times, David, where I'm like, oh, I'm done with this. I've had it. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm not getting any work and I don't know what's going on. But you know what? I still do it. I get up and I'm like, oh, I hope I get some work today. It's a dog eat dog kind of thing. But keep up with it. If you love it and you have fun, that's the most important thing. Absolutely.
That's words of sage wisdom from Ty.
That's right. Beef, it's what for dinner. that's my what the heck, Sam Elliott. I knew we were going to be in trouble, but we had to back away because they had brought out the big guns. They brought out the hoses and the squirt bottles. I have a tattoo of Christopher Walken on my leg. I'm a major Christopher Walken fan. And I've been doing his voice for a long time. And there for a while on YouTube or Facebook, I was doing 10 seconds with the Walken dude. Hi, I'm Christopher Walken, and we have a question from a guy named Jim. And Jim wants to know, why is the sky blue? And I say, because it's fucking blue, okay, Jim? Don't hassle me anymore. You keep sending me crappy questions. Thanks for 10 seconds with the Walken dude.
I like that.
And now he's gotten older, and so he's kind of gravelly, but he still gets that squeak occasionally. You just never know. Hey, I'm going to come over and mow your lawn. Do you want to have some juice or some tea? You've got to, it's fun if you can impersonate somebody and put them in a situation that's not them, I've also been working on Matthew McConaughey. It's all right, I got a car. The problem with it, it doesn't go left. It goes all right, all right, all right.
That's excellent. I love this. Listen, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out, and how do people contact you?
I will always shout out to my brother Gus Lawson in Billings, Montana, who actually started me on my wonderful excursion into losing one's mind in a wonderful way with animation, cartoons, Godzilla movies, Saturday Night Live, SCTV, so many things. So it will always go out to my brother Gus, my half brother. He's not even a step brother. He's always been my brother Gus, and I let him know every time I do something that, hey man, I thanked you. And if you guys want to check me out, you can go to tythevoiceguy.com. And there's my website. There's my work on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands on there. My work on the Borderlands 3 Love Guns and Tentacles, my Hi-Rez work, my demos, stuff I've done over the past 11 years. So if you like it, hey, that's cool. If you want to, if you want to, get a hold of me, do and send me a message. I'm always willing to talk to people. Just don't ask really personal questions, okay? Because I can't usually ask. I don't know what size my underwear are on. Leave me alone and quit asking that question. Who is that guy keeps writing me that? What size is your underwear? Not yours.
Thank you. Oh boy, this is awesome. Hey, Ty Anderson,
Yes, sir.
thank you for being on Real Actors, Real Answers. It's been an honor and a
Oh,
privilege.
David, it's been my honor and thank you. I've had a blast talking with you. Mary, Mary, where's the soup? Yeah. So
Thank you again. And we'll talk soon. And I'm gonna send this out, and people are gonna love you. Who wouldn't love Ty Anderson?
I got a list. Hold on, where's my wallet? See, I keep that list really close. David, you're a beautiful man, beautiful person, and much love to you. God loves you. And hey, man, have a great day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.